Dear Odooers, hello and welcome to our presentation at the Odoo Experience 2021. The title of our presentation is Modular Construction Made Easy with Odoo. I'm going to start off with a bit of an introduction. My name is Fida. I'm the principal and the president and the head of services at Syncoria Incorporated. We are a digital agency, a software development firm based out of Toronto, Ontario, Canada. We have been in business and working with primarily open source software for the last 16 years, since 2004. Last few years, last 4 or 5 years, have been primarily Odoo because we just love the platform and it gives us the flexibility as well as the breadth of features and functionalities that we need to implement any solution for a wide variety of industries. We target most of our customers are based out of North America, but we do cater to customers all across the globe. We are also a software development firm. That's why we develop Odoo apps and themes. You can always find us by looking up our name, Syncoria, at the Odoo apps.odoo.com website. We are a partner to other technologies such as Moneris and TrueCommerce, and we develop integrations between these systems. Over the years, due to our engineering services and products, we have been rewarded with a number of awards and accolades. So today's topic is how we can leverage Odoo for an industry like modular construction. So I want to first tell you a little bit about what modular construction is in the first place. Modular construction basically reinvents the way homes are built, and the overall process is very different from conventional construction. Modular construction during this process, a building or a facility is constructed off-site, in most cases at a factory, and then different components or modules are shipped to the intended location where they are put together, and how construction proceeds. Of course, the same standards and codes are followed in modular construction, but overall the overall time can be reduced by almost 50%, if not more. And again, the designs of each module are very important. The bill of material of the entire facility or the building obviously would be huge, as you can imagine. And those are some of the challenges that we faced. So I talked a little bit about modular construction, but the core of our presentation is how Odoo can make modular construction or make the processes involved in modular construction simpler and seamless. There are many challenges, as you can imagine, in such an industry. Of course, there are multiple opportunities for any manufacturer in this industry to leverage the power of Odoo. We're going to discuss four key challenges and areas that we needed to focus on in one of our implementations in this industry. The number one is the supply chain management. So procurement is key. Managing timely procurement, and as I previously mentioned, the bill of materials, so the number of sub-assemblies can be quite large. So procurement is a key part of the process. Another challenge or area that we needed to focus on was manufacturing, of course, and just-in-time manufacturing is essential for this kind of industry for obvious reasons that these like the components or the manufactured sub-assemblies and the finished goods or the modules, they tend to be uh, quite large. So storage is an issue, transportation is an issue. So everything needs to be done just in time, not ahead of time, but also at the same time the processes need to be synchronized enough so that the process can proceed smoothly. Of course, with the addition of a large number of components and materials, obviously a lot of automation when it comes to supply chain needs to be built in. Labor tracking becomes tricky because in conventional construction you have one building and you have a number of people working on it, whereas in modular construction it is hard to attribute labor costs to an individual project or a building. So that is another part that we leveraged Odoo's power to come up with a solution for a customer in this industry. So what we offered to one of our customers are these Odoo applications. So sales, inventory, manufacturing, purchase, and PLM, because as I said, all the design codes are followed meticulously regardless of the difference in the actual construction process. The codes and the design requirements remain the same. So we needed a way to control the version of the design and the design materials. So that's why we use PLM. Sales, inventory, manufacturing are obvious choices, and purchase. Uh, we used employees extensively for the last component in my previous slide to calculate and attribute labor cost to the right project or building. And we used attendance for that as well. So I'm going to talk to you about how we addressed all of these challenges. So it started from the sale order line. We did do some customizations for this project, but by and large, we stuck with the core features of Odoo, and that's what I'm gonna show you. So if you see on my screen, of course, some of the sensitive information have been redacted, but it should all be very familiar to you. You can see on the screen that we have added some extra fields to each sale order line. So again, these are huge sale orders. So one delivery date doesn't always suffice because the entire project often is managed through a sale order or an order in this case. So if you can see, we have added some extra icons to the right side of the sale order lines, and I will get to those in a bit. But first, the most important part that we have to always keep an eye on is the date. So as you can imagine, everything needs to happen on time and perfectly in synchronization. So the date needs to carry through from the beginning to the end in every part of Odoo. So that's why delivery date is something we added, and I'll show you how we've used this later on in the process. Another thing that is key is we had to introduce Odoo's core reordering rules and automations that are available. But there had to be a way to link manufacturing orders and sales orders to purchase orders. The Odoo has that ability, in this screen, we just presented a consolidated view. So it's easy for the customer or the manufacturing company to link purchase orders with manufacturing orders, because the sheer volume could be significant. You can also, here's another screen that is very useful for number one, to manage the complex supply chain, and number two, to actually have just-in-time manufacturing in effect. So this is a custom view, but of course built on top of features that are already available in Odoo. So if you can see that we need a way to represent a bill of material with, again, the planned dates at the top. So that's the procurement chain or the manufacturing chain, if you may. Typical bill of material would have thousands of lines, and sometimes 10 or even close to 100 levels or sub-assemblies for one finished good. As you can see, we had to bring in some additional features onto this screen, thereby making it easy for the users to use Odoo. One is we had to, of course, the manufacturing orders and work orders need to be planned. And of course, things change often, so we have the option to unplan. There are two other options, which is release and unrelease, which are really releasing to the floor. Planning is for the planning department. Once that's done, that goes to the floor for manufacturing. So these are some additional steps that we added to the overall process. So this is really an amalgamation of manufacturing and purchase and sales. And that's why it required a custom view. But again, it's built on the features of Odoo. Um, with all the planning in the world, deviations happen, and that is only natural, and that's why we always need to make sure that the customers are always aware of these discrepancies and can act on time. So this particular manufacturing order or a sales order has a corresponding discrepancy report. So there are two kinds of discrepancy report. One is a date discrepancy report and a quantity discrepancy report. So date discrepancy report would show purchase orders that are late to arrive or manufacturing orders that are late to be executed. So we'll show all those here, and this list could be, it would get larger and larger. And then we have quantity discrepancies, like if you have faulty products, or if you have returns, or if you didn't receive sufficient quantities. Every department needs to be aligned because of the fact that everything happens just in time. So there is always a time crunch. So we made sure that Odoo produced the necessary reports for the manufacturer to take necessary actions on time. Planning is a big part of any manufacturing, more so for manufacturing of this scale. And we had to implement just-in-time manufacturing planning, i.e., we pushed the manufacturing or the procurement closer towards the scheduled delivery date, as opposed to planning in the immediate future. So planning is always done backwards, using lead time and manufacturing time and all the lead times that Odoo has, just changing the way it is actually planned by pushing it to as close to the delivery date as possible. As I previously said, labor tracking is a key part. And if you can see on this screen, we actually included Odoo's attendance and married it with the manufacturing app. And we have a view here. If you can see, we've had some customizations, like you can add multiple people to a work order. So here you can add more people. Of course, those people have to be present, so hence the need for attendance. And then we also have the view docs. So we've updated the worksheet feature in Odoo to integrate with Google Docs and pull worksheets directly from Google Docs. Product lifecycle management is also very important, as I said at the beginning, that designing to code is equally important in modular construction as it is in conventional construction. So we used Odoo's default product lifecycle management with minor modifications. So if you can see here, we've added update documents and the update BOM. We've had to update the BOM for not only new upcoming manufacturing orders, but also manufacturing orders that are planned and yet to start. So as you can imagine, there's a lot of procurement, a lot of parts. Sometimes small parts are being purchased in large quantities. Therefore, returns is a big part of the entire process. So we used an RMA application in Odoo to manage the life cycle of every return, and it is fully connected with Odoo's inventory. Overall, this project was very interesting for us. We've learned a lot about the industry as well as the power of Odoo and how to leverage that to increase productivity, inventory traceability, among other things. And so far, Odoo has been a great choice for this industry, and I encourage everyone in the community to explore more about modular construction, because Odoo is a very good fit for this industry, because the competition sometimes falls short and or is too expensive to customize and make it fit. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoy the rest of the Odoo experience, and I will take some questions now.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Fida, for this amazing talk about the construction and construction industry in with Odoo. It was very, very nice to see that now Odoo can be adapt to the construction market, construction industry. So I just want to ask you a little bit about the project first, the implementation. Can you give us some sense of the time frame of the implementation? And for example,
Sure. Sure. The overall implementation was around 10 months.
10 months.
But that also included other parts like accounting, total inventory configuration. The overall, it was starting from the beginning, gap analysis, and then configuration and training, and of course going live. So that the entire thing took 10 months. But what I covered in today's talk was primarily focused around the custom development part, and that was sort of took about 6 months.
6 months. Okay. And do you know how many user was this project, or if you had did you have to do some specific um, user training for that part, anything like that?
Yes, absolutely. So there were, um, right now there are over 100 users, but at the time there were 95.
95.
And we did, of course, the super user training, we had a small group of users. We kept very close to the process throughout, who were trained mostly virtually, because this particular customer is actually located in a different geographic area from us. So most of the training was conducted online. We did, however, after go live, we had a team on site for 2 weeks where we worked closely with the end users, made sure everybody was on board and using it, because you know how it goes.
Yeah. You need to make sure you are here to support the clients, especially after they go live.
Yeah, real training starts after going live.
Yeah. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Um, I have a question regarding what was the most complex features you had to implement on, because you show us a couple of screenshots about very nice reporting and business requirement, RPA as well. But what was the most complex one that you had to make and you had to customize for the clients? Yeah.
Right. There were quite a few complex customizations, namely, but we also got a lot of advantage from using other applications of Odoo. I don't know if you, if you remember,
Yeah.
we married attendance with manufacturing to do labor tracking based on actual attendance, who's working on what. So that was complex, but in terms of development, that wasn't. It was so good to have those features available from Odoo. In terms of real complexity in custom development, I would say the planning part.
Planning part. Yeah.
That would be the most complex custom development that we've done for this project, because we needed to make sure. So we needed to introduce a lot of things with planning that Odoo didn't have, and they were sometimes unique to this project. Like they go through a number of iterations when it comes to planning. So plans need to be vetted before they're actually released to the floor.
Yeah.
So it's not just planning; it's also making sure that the plans are in a state of being vetted at first, and then it goes to a confirmed state and released.
Yeah.
And at that point, plans cannot be changed. So those restrictions also came into play. So if we go into the nitty gritties, there were quite a few challenges around the planning
Scheduling
part
and
of it.
planning. Yeah, that makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. On all of this, and you are partners who work in the entire Canada, and not just in construction, but also in manufacturing in general. Do you think that some of the features you develop for these specific clients will be used for different industries, for example?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We feel very strongly for a number of features that we've developed here. Uh, we think have broader application. For example, the one that I just mentioned a second ago, the ability to attribute labor accurately to manufacturing. That is something that any manufacturing company could use. Another thing is any manufacturing that is complex deals with a large bill of material, large multi-level bill of material, can benefit from it. So having a view where you can see the hierarchy of your manufacturing orders and your purchase orders,
Yeah.
and being able to track discrepancies and address them as they happen would be very useful to any complex manufacturing.
Yeah.
We also think that it could be applicable to companies that are outside of manufacturing as well. Maybe something with a heavy supply chain management or a complex supply chain could also benefit from features like this.
Nice, nice, sounds good. One more question. You show us a very nice procurement part and customization. Did you have to connect with a specific EDI or API to source the procurement goods for the clients, or it was just one by one you had to send, for example, a request for quote or stuff like that?
Yeah, for this particular project, we did not need to integrate with any EDIs for vendors, but we've done it for other projects.
So it can be done. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it can be done actually. Odoo has everything you need to actually integrate with any EDIs or APIs for that matter.
Nice.
And we've done that. We've built and
Great.
we've actually done custom EDI formats.
All right. Yeah, I thank you for that answer. Thank you so much, Fida, for being here. I'm gonna just post a link out here. So if you guys want to talk to Fida, he will be available on this room, and the link will be on the chat. And again, thank you so much, Fida, for